Hello guys, the G-Man here again, and let's check out what's happening here with Gearbox Software. So I checked their homepage. There's nothing new, nothing particularly interesting. Of course there's some marketing for Borderlands 3. I think it's quite sad that Borderlands 3 is no more on the Epic Game Store, or at least I can't find it there. So you also can't pre-order it and get any discounts. But another very interesting fact appeared, and this is that according to several pages, there is a new free DLC coming for Borderlands 2 in the year 2019. So of course Borderlands 2 has very many DLCs. So just here you have approximately 50 DLCs, but most of them are just a gun pack or a little bit of colorful distraction or something like this for your outfits. But there are some very interesting packs. Of course, the Necromancer pack. So you could play as a new character, and this also goes for other characters. And the story DLCs, so they were 4 main story DLCs. They started with Captain Scarlet and her pirate's booty in the year 2012 October. It was a decent mix. A lot of shooting, nice vistas and decent action, and I think it was a really nice DLC, more like an expansion, and it was worth the money. Then they had Mr. Talk's campaign of Carnage. It was just a few months later, so this was October and this was November, so basically no time in between. And here was the focus less of story or something cool, but more of just a lot of quick action, just going in there and listening to Mr. Talk. And he says, yeah, let's go into the ultimate area and fight against some of the bosses.
Miss me, sugar?
Yes, of course, Moxie, I always miss you. Yes, but it was rather dull, a little bit boring. I really didn't like this kind of DLC. Then we continued with Hammerlock's Big Game Hunt. This was again a decent expansion. It was more of a story. You had to fight in a swamp area, voodoo people, and so on. The thematic curtain was quite nice, and you had to collect trophies from giant creatures and of course help Sir Hammerlock to collect his things that he wanted to get. It was nice, but it was not a really interesting story. It was more quantity over quality, so to say. And then we had Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep, and I can't say how cool this DLC was. It was a completely different topic and a completely different theme. You had some kind of D&D adventure. Tiny Tina told us what the enemies were, and when we started to kill them, or if the enemies were too easy, then Tiny Tina said, oh, and there is also a dragon and 10 liches or something like this, and it was nearly impossible to continue this part. Or in another area you had to fight against hordes of zombies and skeletons in true D&D fashion. It was interesting, something different, but the story was so unique, and I really could recommend this. Of course, we had the base Borderlands 2 game. So here, the base Borderlands 2 game, it was very, very good. I really liked it. The story was super nice. It ran quite good. It had some graphical glitches. Who doesn't know the texture loading and texture pop-up problem? So I think this price here for this game, or just the Game of the Year edition for $10, I think it's steal, or $10, or maybe £9. I'm not sure what other prices are right now. Yes, but let's continue the story back to the beginning. So we are talking about some kind of DLC. So when we would see a new DLC for Borderlands 2 that is to connect Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3 and give us more story and more background informations. So when we look at the info we get, it's Commander Lilith and the fight for Sanctuary. So it's for Borderlands 2, it's free in 2019. The sad thing is you can't find it anymore on Steam. I tried to. It's really impossible. You can't search for the Steam ID or the name. So this page here still has the information. But the things that they found here are really hard to find. So I checked the Steam database by myself. Yes, and you don't get a lot of information here. The interesting thing, however, is that it was supposed to be free. So you would get a DLC that connects Borderlands 2 and 3 for free. So even if you are not buying Borderlands 3, you're getting something. The question is now, what are you getting? So when you're basically getting something like I don't know, like a new weapon pack and maybe a horde mode in Sanctuary, and Lilith is standing there and helps you, I think this would be rather boring. I think this wouldn't give us any more information, wouldn't prepare us for Borderlands 3. It would be a nice throwback, but it would fit in the free department because it would be really easy to develop something like this. So you just take your normal enemies, make some hordes, just throw them somewhere, wave by wave. Lilith helps you maybe, and you can play with 1 up to 4 players and defend the area. Okay, this might be good, it might be free, it also might be a little bit boring. Now the other aspect is that when we look at the DLCs that we already got, of course these were paid DLCs, but when we look at them, 2 of them were decent. One was a little bit boring, this kind of horde mode that I could expect, and one was really nice and had a lot of really good stories. So my hope is that Gearbox, because they had a little bit of problems, I would say, regarding the exclusivity deals on the Epic Store. So there was a lot of backlash, and Randy Pitchford, of course, was criticized for creating a bad work environment with a lot of overtime and harassment. This was also quite sad, and I'm thinking that if they would like to promote Borderlands 3 and show themselves in a good light, they might create something like the Big Game Hunt, Captain Scarlet's Booty, or even something like the Assault on Dragonkeep, because it would be free. Okay, it would cost them money to make. They would create something rather good, so maybe people would also buy Borderlands 2 for this. And when people bought it, of course not bought it, but okay, they bought Borderlands 2, they played through it, they played this new DLC, and they get hyped for the new Borderlands 3. So in the long run, it could make them a lot of money. Because when people thought about buying Borderlands on Steam, on the Epic Game Store, and of course it was at first announced on Steam, and it is just an Epic Game Store timed exclusive, so after a year you can get it somewhere else. Yes, but let's be real here, so you can't get it somewhere else, and the backlash was huge. We had the same thing with Metro Exodus, I think it was, not Last Light. Metro Exodus, and a lot of people didn't buy the game because it was on the Epic Game Store. And I think, and also I was thinking about getting the game a little bit later or discounted if it's only on the Epic Game Store. And I wanted to buy it here because the Epic Game Store had a special event where you could save $10 on any new game, and even the games that weren't released yet. So I was thinking about buying Vampire the Masquerade and Borderlands 3. Just $10 cheaper, so instead of 59 it's 49 basically. And this was sadly swiped away, and you just can't find anything Borderlands related here anymore. So this is really sad, because it was some kind like this page here that you can find on the Gearbox homepage. Okay, so what's to expect? Honestly, I would say just don't expect too much. Maybe it's not free. This could be one thing. Maybe it's not good. But if everything goes well, it might be a new free and good DLC for us. And of course, you could start Borderlands 2 from the beginning, or just take an old save file and continue the game where you left last time. And it could be a really cool thing to get into the game. And if it's, I really hope it. If it's a little bit like Assault on Dragon Keep, I would honestly love to play it, to get into the Borderlands vibe again, and to, yes, buy Borderlands 3 when it's a little bit discounted. I think $59 is it's always for me just a little bit too much. I'm always thinking the last game that I paid this much for was Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, and even there I got a discount of $5, I think. I bought a physical copy, and then I opened the game box and it was a Steam key, so this was rather pointless. Yes, but I think when you can get it a little bit discounted, I don't know what you can do. Maybe look at your local shops. Some have discounts, or maybe you could check if the Epic Game Store has it sometimes discounted. This could be a really good way to get into the game, get Borderlands 3, and then play it. And maybe Borderlands 3 isn't this good, but at least then you have a new free download client for Borderlands 2, and you can get your fix there. Yes. So I really hope that it will be a good thing, and this might give Gearbox the uplift that they need. Because I think the hype for Borderlands 2 was huge. It was one of the best games 2012. I think I played 2 or 3 times through it, and 1 or 2 times with all the DLCs. And I loved the classes. After I got the Necromancer, I played it once more and played it with my brother and some friends, and it was really, really nice. And one of the best experiences of a co-op game. Maybe beside Diablo 2. So, I really hope that Randy Pitchford and his crew just think about creating a real new good Borderlands download client and make a great Borderlands 3, and we all can buy it. Okay, so Have fun, guys, and see you next time. Bye!